Today we are going to discuss the next article from the second chapter of quantum mechanics, namely Schrodinger time dependent wave equation. Schrodinger time dependent wave equation. Schrodinger's equation in quantum mechanics describes how a wave function describing physical state of a quantum mechanical system evolves with time or change with the time. It is just like motion of a particle in a classical mechanics is described by Newton's equations. We cannot really derive Schrodinger's equation just as we cannot derive Newton's equations. Schrodinger's equation is a postulate of quantum mechanics whose validity lies in the experimental verification of the results obtained from it. So the presentation which I am going to give here is neither a proof nor a derivation. It is just one way to get the Schrodinger equation. So remember, Schrodinger's equation does not have real proof or derivation. It is just one way to get this particular equation. So to begin with, let us consider a free non-relativistic particle of mass m moving along x-axis. What are the assumptions? We have a free particle. Free means which is not acted upon by force, any force. It is non-relativistic, means it is moving with a velocity which is much less than velocity of a light and has mass m. So in order to fit this particular situation in wave particle duality, we are going to consider a plane monochromatic wave traveling along x-axis. So this particular free non-relativistic particle of mass m, when it moves along x-axis, and when I assign wave nature to this particular particle, it will be described by this particular plane monochromatic wave, namely psi of xt equal to a e raised to I kx minus omega t. This is our equation 1. This is plane monochromatic wave for a particle or de Broglie wave which is associated with that moving material particle. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to stress particle nature more, because what is under consideration is a particle and is not a wave, and therefore in the derivation or in the way we are going to obtain Schrodinger's equation, what we must remember is that we emphasize or we stress its particle nature more than its wave nature. So this particular equation describes a wave through these parameters, like k is a wave number which is given by twice pi by lambda. Omega is another parameter characterizing the monochromatic wave under consideration, which is angular frequency, which is given by twice pi nu, where nu is a linear frequency. What I am going to do now is, from the wave nature, I am going to transform this equation to particle nature. What are the characteristics of particle? Namely, the characteristics or properties of particle are its momentum p and energy E. And therefore, by making use of de Broglie relation and Einstein's relation, I am going to obtain expression for these wave parameters, namely k and omega. I am going to replace k and omega by p and momentum p and energy E. So first equation is p equal to h upon lambda, multiplying and dividing both numerator and denominator by twice pi. What I have is h upon twice pi is h cross, and twice pi by lambda is k. So P equal to H cross K, and this implies that K equal to P upon H cross. So this is the replacement for K if I am transforming wave nature to particle nature. Then E equal to H nu. This is Einstein's relation. What I am going to do is multiplying and dividing both numerator and denominator by twice pi. I have this. So H upon twice pi is H cross and twice pi nu is omega. So E is equal to H cross omega. Just like P is equal to H upon lambda and E is equal to H nu, P is also equal to H cross K and E is also equal to H cross omega. This implies that for expression for angular frequency, which I am going to replace in this equation, is omega equal to E upon H cross. E upon H cross. So these are the replacement which I have got for K and omega, and therefore particle moving, a free non-relativistic particle of mass m moving along x-axis is also described by this particular equation psi of xt equal to a, where a is amplitude, e raised to I, h cross common, I upon h cross, and then k is to be replaced by p upon h cross, so px minus et. What I have done, I have replaced k by p upon h cross, I have replaced omega by e upon h cross is common, and this is our equation number 2. Now what I am going to do now is I am going to differentiate this equation, differentiating with respect to x. Okay, differentiate this equation with respect to space variable. So what I am getting is dabba psi by dabba x, it's a partial derivative because I am keeping another variable t as a constant. Dabba psi by dabba t, exponential function as it is, so derivative of this function will be as ae raised to I upon h cross px minus et. So this will be same, and what will get multiplied by ip upon h cross, ip upon h cross. This is what I have got, ip upon h cross. I upon h cross is transferred to this side. So h cross goes in the numerator, I comes in the denominator. When I goes in the numerator, then it becomes minus ih cross dabba psi by dabba x equal to psi is equal to p psi, equal to p psi. This is one of the important expression which I have. Okay, minus ih cross dabba psi by dabba x equal to p psi. What this equation tells me? That action of minus ih cross dabba by dabba x on psi is to give momentum. So we have identified operator, first operator, namely momentum operator, which is this operator p. X operator is denoted by this particular symbol, and this gives me minus ih cross upon d by dx. This is the momentum operator which we have identified. Okay, because the action of minus ih cross dabba by dabba x on psi is to give momentum, and therefore momentum is this particular operator. Its action on psi is to give p momentum. Now what I am going to do now is I am differentiating this equation. Let us call it as a 3 and this as a 4. Differentiating equation 3 again with respect to x. Differentiating equation 3 with respect to x again. So what is to be remembered? Consider a particle nature, I mean this particular equation, and differentiate it with respect to space variable, namely x, twice. Okay, so differentiation will give me dabba 2 psi by dabba x square psi will be generated again, and this factor Ip upon h cross will be generated one more time, since we are differentiating it one more time. So Ip upon h cross will get generated, and that Ip upon h cross into Ip upon h cross, what it gives me? Minus, because I square is minus 1 p square upon h cross square multiplied by psi. P square upon h cross square psi. This is shifted to this side, minus h cross square dabba 2 psi by dabba x square equal to p square psi. Okay, this is fifth equation. This is not very important, but still, if you ask me what is momentum square operator, it is minus h cross square dabba 2 psi by dabba x square, just square of this particular operator, minus I h cross dabba by dabba x. If you square that operator, then you will get minus h cross square dabba 2 psi by dabba x square. So this gives me p square operator, square of the momentum operator, which is minus h cross square upon minus h cross square dabba 2 by dabba x square. This is not very significant operator. What is important is when I am dividing both the sides by twice m. So minus h cross square upon twice m dabba 2 psi by dabba x square equal to p square upon 2m psi. This equation is more important, in a sense that minus h, the action of minus h cross square upon twice m dabba 2 by dabba x square on psi is to give p square upon 2m. What is p square upon 2m? P square upon 2m is a momentum operator. Kinetic energy operator, kinetic energy operator. So this equation gives me kinetic energy operator. So we have identified third operator, momentum operator, momentum square, and then kinetic energy operator, which will be denoted by, say, K, which is minus h cross square upon 2m minus h cross square upon 2m dabba 2 by dabba 2 psi by dabba x square, dabba 2 by dabba x square. So this is that kinetic energy operator. So let us look at these two equations, namely this equation dabba psi by dabba x and this. So what I have done so far, I have differentiated this equation, namely psi of xt equal to ae raised to I upon h cross px minus et. I have differentiated this equation twice with respect to x. Now I am differentiating this equation with respect to time. Okay, I am differentiating this equation with respect to time. So what I will get is dabba psi by dabba t. Partial derivative is because space coordinate x is now kept constant and the equation is differentiated with respect to t. A e raised to I upon h cross px minus p multiplied by x minus et as it is multiplied by minus I e upon h cross, minus I e upon h cross. So what I am doing here is, this is nothing but psi, and what I have here is minus I e upon h cross, minus I e upon h cross. This is dabba psi by dabba t. So shifting this minus I upon h cross to this side, h cross upon I with a minus sign. When I goes in the numerator, it becomes I h cross dabba psi by dabba t, dabba psi by dabba t equal to psi e, equal to psi e. This is the equation that I am getting. Precisely, this should be written as E psi, E psi. This is our next equation. Let us call it as 8. So what I have done, action of, or what is the conclusion of this equation? Action of I h cross dabba by dabba t on psi is to give energy. So IH cross dabba by dabba T will be identified as an energy operator. So this implies that I have this energy operator IH cross dabba by dabba T. This is one more important equation for energy operator. This is next equation number, say 9. Okay, energy operator. So which are the operators which we have searched for? So we are trying to derive Schrodinger's equation, and on the way of getting the Schrodinger equation, what we have got are the various operators like momentum operator, square of the momentum operator, kinetic energy operator, and then energy operator. Remember, energy operator in non-relativistic quantum mechanics, this is the only operator that is time dependent. Energy operator is a time dependent. Now if you look at these two equations, namely 8 and 6, then you will see that for a free particle total energy is entirely kinetic, E equal to p square upon 2m for a free particle, which is not acted upon by any force and hence possesses no potential energy. It has only kinetic energy, or the total energy of a free particle is entirely kinetic. And therefore right hand sides of equation 6 and 8, they are same, and therefore these two LHS of these two equations can be equated. So I am equating LHS of these two equations 6 and 8. What I have is minus h cross square upon 2m minus h cross square upon 2m dabba 2 psi by dabba x square. What is minus h cross square upon 2m dabba 2 by dabba x square? Kinetic energy in an operator form. Kinetic energy operator operating on psi, and on the right hand side I have this time dependent term IH cross dabba psi by dabba t, dabba psi by dabba t. This is equation number 9. This is the Schrodinger's time dependent wave equation for free non-relativistic particle having mass m moving along x-axis. Its motion is along x-axis, which is depicted through variable x. It has mass m and is moving with non-relativistic velocity. So this is Schrodinger's equation for free particle, and why it is called as time dependent Schrodinger equation? Because look at this particular term which is time dependent, which is there on RHS, dabba psi by dabba t. This term will give you how psi is changing, how wave function of a quantum mechanical system describing its physical state is evolving with time, is changing with time, is indicated by this particular term, or is expressed by this particular term which is appearing in this equation. Now let us consider a more general case. In a sense, let us consider a particle which is acted upon by force, and therefore it will possess potential energy through this equation dV by dx. Isn't it? Force is derivable from potential. So if force acts on a particle, then it possesses a potential energy through this equation. This is for conservative force field, and therefore what I am going to do now is I am writing E psi equal to IH cross dabba psi by dabba t. This is equal to, total energy is to be written as p square upon 2m. It has both kinetic energy as well as potential energy, a potential energy function of V and operating on psi. Okay, so let us put this in operator form. P square upon 2m is minus h cross square upon 2m dabba 2 psi by dabba x square in operator form. operator corresponding to p square upon 2m, operator corresponding to kinetic energy is this operator minus h cross square upon 2m da by 2 by da by x square. Operator corresponding to potential energy or simply potential is potential itself. So its effect on psi is just a mere multiplication, and this is what IH cross da by psi by da by t. Okay, da by psi by da by t. This is time dependent Schrodinger equation in one dimension for a particle or for a quantum mechanical system moving non-relativistically along x-axis and has both kinetic energy as well as potential energy. And this particular term is a time dependent term which tells us how psi changes with t, how physical state of a system changes or evolves with time t. So this is time dependent Schrodinger equation for a particle which is acted upon by force and which is moving non-relativistically. Let us keep in mind that the way to remember this equation is kinetic energy plus potential energy equal to total energy. So this is total energy in operator form, this is kinetic energy in operator form, and this is potential energy in its operator form. So this is what the time dependent Schrodinger wave equation is in one dimension. Now let us look at three-dimensional analog of this equation. So to look at, how will you write plane monochromatic wave in three dimension? So psi instead of x, r, because r now includes all three space coordinate, namely x, y, z. X psi is function of r and t. Amplitude of the wave e raised to I instead of kx, k dot r, any arbitrary direction minus omega t. So this is three-dimensional analog of the plane monochromatic wave. Corresponding corpuscular nature will have this particular form. Psi function of r and t equal to a e raised to I upon h cross p dot r minus et, because E is a scalar quantity, momentum and position, these are the vector quantities. So these are the three-dimensional analog of those two equations from which we have derived Schrodinger's equation, and therefore the Schrodinger's time dependent wave equation, Schrodinger's time dependent Schrodinger equation in three dimension is kinetic energy in operator form minus h cross square upon 2m instead of da by 2 by da by x square del square psi. What is important here is psi is function of r and t, both space coordinate as well as time coordinate, plus v psi the kinetic energy in operator form plus potential energy in operator form equal to IH cross da by psi by da by t. This is energy operator, IH cross da by da by t. So this is Schrodinger's time dependent. Why it is called as time dependent? Because of the presence of this time dependent term here, which tells us how psi evolves with time. So this is Schrodinger's time dependent wave equation in three-dimensional. This is three-dimensional analog of Schrodinger's time dependent wave equation. I am again repeating that what is important here is that psi is function of both r as well as t, position as well as time, or coordinate x, y, z and time. Similarly, v is also function of r and t, and that is what it is. So next time we will discuss the properties of this time dependent Schrodinger equation, and we will obtain time independent Schrodinger equation from this particular equation. So let us stop here.